Welcome to the Complete Spanish Verb Tenses Guide. I will explain every single verb tense in 20 minutes. After watching this video, you will have a way better understanding of Spanish grammar. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced learner looking for a refresher, today's lesson is made for you. To help you with this, I've created a free PDF with all the Spanish verb tenses. I've also included some irregular verbs there to complete the explanation of this video. So let's go! I'll explain all the tenses first, and after that, I'll put examples of each tense for you to process the tenses better. And to finish, a quick recap that will make things very easy for you. So watch till the end.
My Daily Spanish.
In Spanish, we have three types of verbs. Verbs that end in ar, verbs that end in and verbs that end in ir. We also have three different modes, tres modos. Modo indicativo, modo subjuntivo y modo imperativo. El indicativo has 10 tenses, el subjuntivo has 6 tenses, and el imperativo has just 1 tense. Let's learn them all! Starting with the non-finite verb forms, las formas no verbales. Infinitivo, the verb ending in ar, or ir. Today we'll use cantar to sing, comer to eat, and vivir to live. Gerundio, cantando, comiendo, viviendo. Participio, cantado, comido, vivido. Infinitivo compuesto, haber plus participle, participio. Haber cantado, haber comido, haber vivido. Gerundio compuesto, haber in gerund form plus participle. Habiendo cantado, habiendo comido, habiendo vivido. Modo indicativo. We use the indicative mood to talk about anything factual, true events. It is the mood we use the most. We have 5 simple tenses and 5 perfect tenses. Let's start with the present. Presente de indicativo. Cantar would be yo canto, tú cantas, él canta, nosotros cantamos, vosotros cantáis, ellos cantan. Yo, tú, él o ella, él, he, ella, she, nosotros or nosotras, nosotros masculine, nosotras feminine, vosotros or vosotras, you all plural, vosotros masculine, vosotras feminine, and ellos or ellas, ellos, they masculine, ellas, they feminine. You might ask, where is usted and ustedes? Usted, you formal, uses the same form as él and ella. And ustedes, you all formal, uses the same form as ellos and ellas. Comer. Como, comes, come, comemos, coméis, comen. Vivir. Yo vivo, tú vives, él vive, nosotros vivimos, vosotros vivís, ellos viven. If the verb is regular, the verbs of the same group, ar, or ir, will have the same endings. You have the endings of each tense in green so you can note them. We use the present tense for facts, descriptions, and things that you usually do, like in English. Carolina canta muy bien. Yo como macarrones todos los jueves. Nosotras vivimos en Sevilla. Each simple tense is related to a perfect tense. El presente is connected with pretérito perfecto compuesto. This tense is made with the verb haber, which is irregular, in the present tense, plus the participle of the verb you are conjugating. So you only need to learn this verb haber. It means there is, there are, and it works like have in English. If you use it alone, it doesn't mean anything. So it is has, ha, hemos, habéis, han. Plus the participle, cantado, comido, vivido. Have sung, have eaten, have lived. We generally use the present perfect for actions related to the present or that has taken place immediately before the present moment. We can use it for things that we did today. He cantado una canción por la mañana. Ana ha comido hoy en mi restaurante favorito. Mis abuelos han vivido muy felices. Now, how do you talk about actions that happened yesterday or even 10 minutes ago? That's where the past tenses come into play. Up next, we tackle the preterite and imperfect, and you'll learn when to choose the right past tense every time. Pretérito perfecto simple. Yo canté, tú cantaste, ella cantó, nosotras cantamos, vosotras cantasteis, ellas cantaron. Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comisteis, comieron. Viví, viviste, vivió, vivimos, vivisteis, vivieron. We use it to talk about completed actions in the past and actions that took place in a specific time in the past. María le cantó una canción preciosa a su novio. Ayer comí lentejas. Mi abuelo vivió la guerra civil. The perfect tense related to the simple past is pretérito anterior. This is formed with the verb haber conjugated in pretérito perfecto simple plus the participle of the verb you are conjugating. Good news for you, we don't really use the pretérito anterior nowadays, just in literature. But here it is. Hube, hubiste, hubo, hubimos, hubisteis, hubieron. Plus, cantado, comido, vivido. The pretérito anterior expresses that a past action took place before another action in the past. But for that, we use another tense. Stay tuned. Tan pronto como hubo cantado, se fue al hotel. Pretérito imperfecto. We use the pretérito imperfecto to talk about an action that was ongoing or that was habitual in the past. Yo cantaba, tú cantabas, él cantaba, nosotros cantábamos, vosotros cantabais, ellos cantaban. Comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, comían. Vivía, vivías, vivía, vivíamos, vivíais, vivían. Mi madre cantaba en el coro cuando iba a la escuela primaria. Nosotras comíamos mucho pescado cuando éramos pequeñas. Tú vivías en Barcelona en aquella época. The perfect form derived from the pretérito imperfecto is pretérito pluscuamperfecto. We use it to talk about an action that took place before another action in the past. We conjugate the verb haber in pretérito imperfecto and add the participle, like had sung, had eaten. Yo había, tú habías, ella había, nosotras habíamos, vosotras habíais, ellas habían. Cantado, comido, vivido. Nunca había cantado delante de tanta gente. Ayer María se encontraba mal. Había comido demasiado antes de irse a dormir. Ellos ya habían vivido en Sevilla antes de mudarse aquí otra vez. Let's draw the map of the past tenses. So generally, if the present is here, presente, canto, things that happened in the immediate past and ended, use pretérito perfecto compuesto. He cantado. Things that happened a little or long before that and had an end, use pretérito perfecto simple. Canté. Things that happened before another thing in the past we are talking about, use pretérito pluscuamperfecto. Había cantado. And things that we did for some time in the past or that didn't have a clear end, use pretérito imperfecto. Cantaba. And what about the future plans? I bet you have some future plans, so let's go with the futuro simple. Cantaré, cantarás, cantará, cantaremos, cantaréis, cantarán. Comeré, comerás, comerá, comeremos, comeréis, comerán. Viviré, vivirás, vivirá, viviremos, viviréis, vivirán. We use it to talk about what we will do, an action in the future or suppositions about an action in the present or future. Mañana cantaré a las 9. El fin de semana comeremos paella. Nunca he vivido una pelea. Ya la vivirás. And from the future, we build the perfect future. Futuro compuesto. We conjugate the verb haber in the futuro simple. Habré, habrás, habrá, habremos, habréis, habrán. Cantado, comido, vivido. We'll have sung, we'll have eaten, we'll have lived. With this tense, we can make suppositions about a completed action or tell an action that will have been completed by a certain time in the future. We'll have plus participle. Pasado mañana ya habrás cantado en tu primer concierto. ¿Qué le pasa a María? Habrá comido demasiado. Cuando seamos ancianos, habremos vivido una vida muy feliz. We also think of probabilities and hypothetical scenarios. What do we use for that? In English, the conditional is a different mood itself, but in Spanish, it is a tense inside the indicative mood. Let's check the condicional simple. We use the condicional simple to talk about hypothetical situations, to give advice, and make requests. Yo cantaría, tú cantarías, él cantaría, nosotros cantaríamos, vosotros cantaríais, ellos cantarían. Comería, comerías, comería, comeríamos, comeríais, comerían. Viviría, vivirías, viviría, viviríamos, viviríais, vivirían. Si yo fuera tú, cantaría todos los días. That fuera is a subjunctive tense. Stay tuned. ¿Te comerías mi segundo plato? Yo viviría la vida de Taylor sin pensarlo 2 veces. And what do we make out of the simple conditional? The perfect conditional, condicional compuesto. We build it by conjugating haber to the conditional and adding the participle. Like in English, I would have habría, habrías, habría, habríamos, habríais, habrían. Plus cantado, comido, vivido. Would have sung, would have eaten, would have lived. We use the perfect conditional to talk about what one would have done or what would have happened in a hypothetical situation. Si lo pudiera hacer otra vez, habría cantado otra canción. Subjunctive with conditional. Qué pena que no vinieras, habrías comido muy bien. Subjunctive with conditional. Si Marina hubiera venido, habría vivido la mejor experiencia de su vida. Subjunctive with conditional again. If you're a little lost in Spanish grammar, something that will help you a lot is this free study guide that you can download on our webpage. It will guide you step by step while you learn Spanish on your own. You have the link in the description. Now, the most hated mood by Spanish learners. All Spaniards also hate it when we study it at school, but you get used to these tenses pretty quickly when you hear them being used. And I'm going to give you good news in a little while. Let's dive into the subjunctive mood. El modo subjuntivo. We use it to give a subjective facts and communicate things like wishes and doubts. Ojalá, I wish, is always accompanied by a subjunctive form. We also see si, if, followed by subjunctive a lot, and subordinate clauses that start with que, that. Using the subjunctive well will make you advanced, so pay attention. Presente de subjuntivo. Cante, cantes, cante, cantemos, cantéis, canten. Coma, comas, coma, comamos, comáis, coman. viva, vivas, viva, vivamos, viváis, vivan. Mainly used to express wishes and doubts. Quiero que me cantes una canción. No creo que Ana coma pollo hoy. Ojalá vivamos muchos años juntos. With the present, we can form the pretérito perfecto compuesto del subjuntivo. We conjugate the verb haber to present subjunctive. Remember, it is irregular. Yo haya, tú hayas, él haya, nosotros hayamos, vosotros hayáis, ellos hayan, cantado, comido, vivido. Llámame cuando hayas cantado. Espero que hayas comido bien. Ojalá hayáis vivido una experiencia inolvidable. Pretérito imperfecto del subjuntivo. I really like this tense, but I have something sad to tell you. There are two different forms for this tense, and both are always interchangeable. But they are very easy to remember. Cantara o cantase. Cantaras o cantases. Cantara o cantase. Cantáramos o cantásemos. Cantarais o cantaseis. Cantaran o cantasen. Comiera o comiese. Comieras o comieses. Comiera o comiese. Comiéramos o comiésemos. Comierais o comieseis. Comieran o comiesen. Viviera o viviese. Vivieras o vivieses. Viviera o viviese. Viviéramos o viviésemos. Vivierais o vivieseis. Vivieran o viviesen. Ara, ase, era, ese, era, ese. Also used for thoughts and wishes. Here are some examples for you to see when we use it. Si cantáramos a las 5, podríamos salir de fiesta esta noche. Ojalá comiésemos tortilla de patatas hoy. Me encantaría que los perros vivieran más años. And the perfect tense that uses this pretérito imperfecto is pretérito pluscuamperfecto del subjuntivo. If the imperfecto has two forms, the pluscuamperfecto also has two forms. We conjugate haber to the pretérito imperfecto del subjuntivo and add the participle. Hubiera, hubiese, hubieras, hubieses, hubiera, hubiese, hubiéramos, hubiésemos, hubierais, hubieseis, hubieran, hubiesen. Cantado, comido, vivido. We use it to reflect on actions in the past that were followed by another. Most commonly to wish something had or hadn't happened, or to give thoughts. Si hubieras cantado más tarde, te habría podido escuchar. Ojalá no hubiéramos comido espinacas. Si hubiesen vivido más tiempo, habrían conocido a sus nietos. Hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Gracias! And now the good news! Next is the future and future perfect of the subjunctive mood. But we don't use them! Yay! I think those might be used only in court. A normal person like me never uses these tenses. Now it's old Spanish. But in case you need, here it is. Futuro simple de subjuntivo. Cantare, cantares, cantare, cantaremos, cantareis, cantaren. Comiere, comieres, comiere, comiéremos, comiereis, comieren. Viviere, vivieres, viviere, viviéremos, viviereis, vivieren. The only sentence I've heard with future subjunctive is a Spanish proverb that says, a donde fueres, haz lo que vieres. Wherever you go, do what you see. And de futuro compuesto de subjuntivo. A ver, in futuro simple de subjuntivo, plus participio. Never heard this tense in any conversation. Never. Hubiere, hubieres, hubiere, hubiéremos, hubiereis, hubieren, cantado, comido, vivido. Let's cut the examples because you won't use this tense. And now the last one, yay! Modo imperativo. And this is just one tense. And just for the second person, you. Is this paradise? Is this paradise? So for the pronouns, we have tú, vosotros, usted, and ustedes. Tú, canta. Vosotros, cantad. Usted, cante. Ustedes, canten. Tú, come. Comed. Coma. Coman. Vive. Vivid. Viva. Vivan. Canta una canción. Comed mucho. Viva su vida y déjeme en paz. Great job on following all the tenses with me. I know it was a lot, so let's review it in a more simple way in a quick recap for you to remember using the sentence hablar español, to speak Spanish, and using just the first person, yo. Tiempos no verbales. Infinitivo, hablar español. Gerundio, hablando español. Participio, hablado español. Infinitivo compuesto, haber hablado español. Gerundio compuesto, habiendo hablado español. Modo indicativo, presente, yo hablo español. Pretérito perfecto compuesto, yo he hablado español. Pretérito perfecto simple, yo hablé español. Pretérito anterior, yo hube hablado español. Pretérito imperfecto, yo hablaba español. Pretérito pluscuamperfecto, yo había hablado español. Futuro simple, yo hablaré español. Futuro compuesto, yo habré hablado español. Condicional simple, yo hablaría español. Condicional compuesto, yo habría hablado español. Modo subjuntivo, presente, que yo hable español. Pretérito perfecto compuesto, que yo haya hablado español. Pretérito imperfecto, que yo hablara, hablase español. Pretérito pluscuamperfecto, que yo hubiera, hubiese hablado español. Futuro simple, que yo hablare español. Futuro compuesto, que yo hubiere hablado español. Modo imperativo, habla español. Review them every now and then and you remember them all, yes! It will be great if you read or listen to Spanish and analyze all the verb tenses they use there. I have these video blogs speaking slow Spanish that will help you a lot. Watch it and have a look at the tenses I'm using. Keep on practicing!